Is it the, comment on dit, de
Salut Omar Sy.
Gamine? Bonjour.
Hi Djamila.
Hi Sarah. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I am doing good. Sitting in Ikea Copenhagen.
We're back on our best spot.
Yes, with the view.
And the sofa.
The sun is back.
But at the same time, it's like minus 10 degrees.
Let's look at the bright side of, what was it?
Always
Look at the bright side of life. Guys, we have amazing voices, and we actually want to know if you guys are interested in listening to us singing, because we have actually an intro song that we did in the beginning when we started thinking about making a podcast. It is our little baby. Like literally my kid sings this song. That's how much it's there. And
but then you have to tell the story.
Yeah.
Because we had, when we first came up with the Ikea Episodes, we were inspired by that song called Ikea Episodes.
Yes.
Which is a Danish song in English.
Yeah.
From a Danish band. And we remixed it. We made our own lyrics.
Exactly.
Recorded it, and that was meant to be our jingle, but then we realized
for legal reasons we cannot use
steal someone's song.
Yeah. But it's still our little song that we like to sing, and I would love to post it one day.
Yeah.
Put it on our social media.
Yeah, let us know if you want a review of the OG
Exactly.
jingle.
And if you are, of course, missing us throughout the month, we are on every platform almost, which are the Ikea Episode.
On Instagram, on Facebook. Come and say hi.
Exactly. And if you want to send us a message, of course, our email is there.
We have received some super nice feedback from the previous episode.
Yes, we did.
Our crazy episode 8.
If you have not listened to episode 8 yet, go. It is one of our spiciest episodes so far.
Please, we're so proud of it.
It is us once again, like, pushing ourselves. I mean, since procrastination episode, which is episode 1, by the way, we have been just pushing ourselves and challenging ourselves. But
it was fun.
We did receive a very, very nice review.
So cute.
From M. Thank you so much for this. And you can listen to it now.
I just finished the podcast. I like it. Sarah's story, oh my God, was the highlight, I think, of it all. Because I was laughing so hard. And I think that the lady who was sitting next to me was thinking I was like listening to an erotic book or something. And then if she knew any French, then she would have seen that the title of the episode was Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And I was like, oh, people would be thinking I'm listening to porn.
It still makes me laugh. I think it was the cutest review ever. Definitely comment of the month. So we had to share it and have it part of episode 9.
Yes. And by the way, next month is then going to be episode 10.
It is.
Yes. End of the single digits.
End of the single digits.
So it's going to be extra special.
Yes.
And we have many ideas for it. But we were thinking it would be appropriate to have maybe finally a little Q&A to get to know us, the behind the scenes, and if some of our listeners are a bit curious, you guys can help us create this episode, basically.
Yes. Let us know. We are very open, and it's going to be an episode where it's a celebration episode. So, yeah.
And today we're on the more chill episode.
Yes.
Back in the
OG.
Back
office.
To our headquarters. For an episode that was a listener suggestion from one of our most regular listeners that we've talked about a lot on this podcast.
We did. He was featured in the episode Forbidden Fruit.
Yeah, basically he's the forbidden fruit.
He's one of the forbidden fruits.
He goes by S.
Hey S.
Hello IKEA girls. I think a good topic you could maybe discuss is your favourite places. Whether that is your favourite places to be alone, with friends, with family, whether it's a place with big meanings or just somewhere you like to take it easy and quiet. I look forward to your answers.
So thank you so much, S, for this suggestion. Chill topic, but very deep.
It can be, yeah.
And sorry that it took us so long to actually get to this topic.
We had a lot to talk about.
we
That's it.
we had other, but we are excited to talk about our favorite places this episode.
Yeah.
Let's start by what is a favorite place? What do we define as a favorite place?
So yeah, when we first got this topic, I had to think a bit because I always think, no, but because I was like, favorite place for what? Depending on what you categorize them in, right?
Yeah.
So first thing I thought was like my favorite place in the world, or my favorite place where I'm going to relax, or my favorite place, I don't know, many things
Yeah.
in my memory, like somewhere I've been that's still, important to me. So many things came up to my mind.
Is it the frequency? Is the frequency?
You mean, okay, the one you go to most often?
Yeah, frequency
is it your
defines the
place?
favorite, or is
I don't
it
think so.
the meaning or what it brings to you? Like for me, for example, my favorite place is different depending on my mood and depending on what is it that I'm trying to gain by going to that place or staying in that place.
Okay. You have an example?
Like for example, one of my favorite places is definitely going to the center that is close to my home, and
The shopping center.
the shopping
Yeah.
center, and just stay there, walk around. Like shopping is like therapy for me, and we have talked about this before. And going there, but it is because it's convenient. It's because it's so near my home that it's a walking distance. So I just go there often.
Whereas when you have a bit more time and energy, then you go to Ikea.
Exactly. But
That's why we're here.
yes,
It's one of our favorite places.
I mean, the first favorite place will always be IKEA, but IKEA has become such our thing now. When I'm not with you, it's weird.
Oh.
So now when I go to IKEA, I'm just like, no, I do this with Sarah. It's our thing. Also, it's fun. Sarah helps me carry all my crazy shopping.
Oh, that's why you always want me with you. Okay, I get it.
Speaking of that, let's a little entre parenthèses. I have to tell you something.
What?
It is time for me to tell you I've been a very bad girl.
What?
So,
I'm weird now.
Episode 7, we talked about the new year, new resolution. And one of my my only resolution was to stop shopping and to be good and not buy things I don't need. With that, I've been bad. And I remember telling you that I would not buy any machines or something like that. I was good for a month.
Which is not bad, as we talked about the
Really?
statistics. It's not
And
bad.
I don't see myself buying anything else, but I did buy a machine. But it's because my plants were struggling and I needed to help them.
Excuses.
So that's the only thing. So now it's out there.
It's okay. Like, you go back into your old patterns, but you
But-
haven't done it that often, so
No.
you deserve a round of applause.
Thank you so much. So yeah, why is IKEA one of our favorite places?
Because it's cozy.
And we love coming here and talking. I remember the first time we had a deep conversation. Like I already knew our friendship, like we were friends. I loved her, Sarah. But that day I was just like,
Oh my god, let's make a podcast.
let's make a podcast. Was
Basically.
after that though. It was definitely the little light bulb. And it has become our thing.
I think it's because it's very homey. So a lot of cafes try to do that too and be like, you're home, away
Yeah.
from home and stuff, but it's not the same. Or like hotels. But here is actual home furniture. Like cafes don't do that. They still try to have some kind of decoration and like personality and stuff. But this is very homey.
Yeah.
You just go and you're like in a public living room.
It has the hygge. aspect of it. But I think a favorite place also is a place where it brings back memories, it makes you nostalgic. One of my favorite place at that time, not at that time, I still love that place. It's in Frederiksberg here in Copenhagen, and it's a park,
Oh
Frederiksberg.
yeah.
And it was so close to, once again, it was so convenient because it was so close to my school that every time I had a bad time or I was stressed out, I would just walk and go there. And sometimes actually after, when it was weekend and I was just stressed, I would just go there because I was used to it, right? I'll take the bus and go to the park. But it's such a cozy park. I don't know if anyone listening to us has ever been to Frederiksberg Park.
It's really beautiful.
It's so cozy. But now when I go there, it still brings me that joy. It still brings me that recharge aspect, but it makes me nostalgic as well.
Yeah, I get that.
And it reminds me of not so long ago, but young Djamila. And that's one of the things I like about that place.
Yeah, that's true. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it does it with the old places I used to live, like my first apartment when I started living on my own. It was like a 6 or 7 square meter, but it was an apartment, not just a room. I had my tiny kitchen corner, my tiny bathroom that had like a sliding door, so you can hear all the pee-pee and
The
poo-poo or
pee-pee.
whatever. And it had a tiny balcony. It was really cute, but I remember the first time we visited it, I was with my mom. She was helping me so much. I was moving on the other side, like across France, from my parents and my friends and stuff. I was starting fresh and new. I was not even 18. And I got so scared. I was like, oh, this will never feel like a home. It's so tiny. And it was kind of old. And I was like, oh no, I don't think this is a good idea. I ended up spending 2 years there. My first place ever.
Wow.
And I really, really made it my home. I had my wall where I hung some pictures on it, all different pictures, like photos, things I got in magazines, stickers, whatever.
Yeah.
It was so pretty. And I hung my guitar on the wall, and then I had, I don't know, my pretty sheets, things like that. And my little rituals also came in. And now that I think about it, I really like that place. I don't know if on the moment, at the time, I felt it was my favorite place. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that a favorite place, it also becomes your favorite place with the memories you make in it. So
That's
as you
so
said,
true.
said, it brings nostalgia.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think favorite place is like it comes with the memories and the people you're surrounded with.
Yeah. No, but it is true. You're right. And it also just comes with growth. You know what I mean? Like, it makes you see the progress.
That's true.
And sometimes a favorite place, like I said, Frederiksberg Park shows me the progress.
But also it was very interesting, Djamila, because you were talking about going to the park and how it was one of your favorite places. Because we live in big cities, and sometimes I must admit that I forget a bit about nature and that it's essential for us humans, basically, to spend time in nature, right? And parks are the closest to nature we have. And
unless you want to go really deep in the
oh,
forest.
you need to go.
I'm too
out.
black for that. That's not happening.
We know your story with insects. It's a no-no.
I don't think insects are the problem. I think it's me going to their environment, because that's their favorite place.
Okay.
And
so they're allowed to exist.
They're allowed to exist. I just need to respect them enough not to go to their favorite place and be insectified.
That actually makes sense somehow.
So this is why I stick to parks. But yeah, go back to the nature.
No, but seriously, I'd like to know among our listeners who are city people and who are nature people.
Yeah.
You can definitely
who are the
be
middle.
both. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm kind of both.
Yeah.
Because I also thrive like walking in nature, and just like the best feeling ever is like seeing seasons change.
I'm 40,
Really?
60. 60 city, 40 nature. I have my limits of nature. I think where we live now, why we wanted to live there was this what you said. Now I see the benefit of living close to nature because I'm enjoying walks now.
Sorry, but you're getting older.
Did you? And I think
My
this is where we
parents-
stop the podcast. Just a second, I need to have a one-on-one with Sarah. Okay.
No, but my parents, they moved to the countryside. They used to live in the Paris region. But now I see why it was such a privilege to have nature around us.
Yeah.
To have the fields and the animals. You can hear the birds chirping.
Oh my
you don't
God,
really,
that
in
is
some
actually
cities,
so
it's getting really sad how you can't hear the birds.
Yeah.
They're not here.
You take me back to young Djamila. Now in Senegal, like morning, hearing the birds, and it was a city, but you
Yeah.
still get to hear, to be with nature, even though you are in the city.
That's why I'm looking forward to the future cities, like
Yeah.
because people are starting to think finally, oh, we need to bring back nature into the city.
Yes, and I think
It's
they're doing
important.
it actually in
Yeah,
Copenhagen.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, here we can really see compared to other
Yeah,
big cities in
yeah.
Europe, it's really different. It can be more. It can be much more.
It can.
And then in cities, I'd say my favorite place in any city is like restaurants and cafes. So I like finding my new favorite places in every city. But it's always going to be like a cafe or a restaurant because I had this realization walking in Copenhagen. It was right after COVID when they had debated about like whether restaurants should stay open, whether they were a necessity or not. Because only necessary places stayed open.
Yeah.
And they were like, restaurants, they are necessary. They are necessary because when you go to a restaurant or a cafe, you don't only pay for like food or drinks. You pay to be in a place that feels welcoming, that feels like a shelter in a city. I don't know. I realized that and I thought, wow, like people who own restaurants, I respect them so much because they're actually.
It depends
like,
on the
so
restaurants, though.
Obviously.
If I go to a city restaurant, I just feel like I'm paying people for them to make food. But I see what you mean. If it's like a cozy restaurant where you see that the owners are like family oriented, some like, you know what I mean?
No, you don't even need that. For me, it's
Okay.
like, for example, I've started to understand the concept of brands or like chains, you know? Because since I've been living in Scandinavia, I discovered Espresso House. And I must say, it's the first time where I actually understood the concept of a brand. Why do people always go back to brands?
Of course.
Because it's familiarity. It's like what they know. You know what to expect. That's why people always go to the same hotel brands.
That's why I come to
know.
IKEA.
That's why we go to IKEA, exactly. We went to IKEA Malmö, we went to different IKEAs
Exactly.
in Copenhagen.
And we
know,
always find this, even though it's not the same.
Exactly. We know there's always going to be the same level of coziness. It's the same with Espresso House or any other chain, whatever. You know what to expect. I know I'm going to have vegan options. I know I'm going to have places to sit that are comfortable. I know the atmosphere is going to make me feel a bit at home.
I see what you mean. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying. It needs to really work on that cozy environment.
Yeah. We literally just spent more time talking about restaurants than nature. I feel so bad.
That says a lot.
But for me, it's either Espresso House or somewhere lost in the Alps. No in
Lost
between.
in the app.
My two personalities.
For me, it's like either a very good restaurant or a tea place or my home. Taking you back.
Fair enough.
My ultimate favorite place is my home. I am a homebody, and when you told me about this topic months ago, and I was thinking, I was like, my favorite place is definitely going to be my home.
And it's funny because I thought completely the opposite. I was like, where have I traveled? But like, oh, Italy, oh, I don't know, Paris, whatever. But no, it doesn't have to be that.
Because I don't like traveling that much. We have already talked about that.
That's one of our big differences.
Yeah. So yeah, my favorite place is definitely my home. I'm very protective of my home, of my like space and what the energy I allowed around it. And yes, looking at the progress of the different homes and that I live, and like when I sit down and look at pictures, for example, of different places I've lived, it is not a lot, but like when I see even the decorations and everything, it really shows this evolution of me,
Oh, that's
of
funny.
my life. It shows also my mental state. I swear, I saw when we used to leave, when before the kids were born, which was like most chaotic time because we were still so young, me and my partner, and we were still trying to figure things out. And you can see it. Every room had different colors. You would be
That's
shocked
so
coming from
not
me, right?
Djamila.
Living room, bedroom, dining room had have red and dark, and like I had, of course, candles all the time.
Wow.
I wanted it to be like very romantic, and the bathroom. Which color was the bathroom? I know the kitchen was green because green shows clean.
So you had a thought behind everything as well.
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
choice of like
What happened? What happened? Where
and
did it
then
go wrong?
I don't know. And then after that, we moved again, and I think that's when I started like every apartment shows how I was getting to know me. I was
So
getting
interesting what
to
you're saying.
slowly, without even realizing, I was having a voice. And it gets to where we live now, where everything is white. I get it
And you're so happy about it.
because it gives me so much peace. It brings me way more than the other places gave me. I mean, I have history there, the kids being born and everything, but it's still totally. So I think like a favorite place is definitely the, like I said, the evolution and your growth, and definitely what gives you peace, what brings you this absolute joy.
And actually, it's so interesting. It's making me think what you're saying. You can make almost anywhere your favorite place. I think it's something I've always thought is like humans, we have this capacity to adapt that's phenomenal.
Amazing, yeah.
We can adapt. I strongly believe that anyone can adapt to almost
It may
any
take
situation.
time depending
Exactly.
on the person,
But
right?
eventually you always manage. And that works with favorite places.
Yes.
Because you don't always choose where you are, where you end up. But you can always manage to find your favorite things in that place.
To survive.
Find your favorite, for example, find your favorite place in a city. And then you can have control also over your space. So whether it's a home or just a room, because not everyone has control over the whole place where they live.
Yeah.
So it's actually also quite a privilege to be able to make it exactly the way you want and stuff. Not everyone can do that, but still, you can always make it the
Make
place
it
you
your
want,
thing.
or also like in your brain, also turn it into. I don't know how to say it, but like switch your brain so you can see the things you like about that place.
Yeah. To adapt and make it your thing, right?
Exactly.
But it is like a survival mode as well.
Yeah, because you're preserving your
You
health.
you need to find that. So I think favorite place can be something that is genuinely just you fall in love with that place, you connect to that place. It could be one that you create yourself, but it could also be one to survive, where you go to breed, right?
And that's why I admire you for saying that it's your home, because that means it's like, wow, you made it.
Yes.
Like the fact that your home is your favorite place, it's such a good
I
thing to have in
generally
life.
like for example, when I get home and I am in my PJs and I sit down,
You go,
the joy,
yeah,
like literally, I breathe.
that's the thing to pursue.
Exactly.
So good.
This finally you feel like you are alive. You're finally like breathing and you're just safe.
Because people who don't have that, they're going to be the ones that tend to move a lot and be like, I remember a colleague, an ex-colleague told me once that people who don't eat meat, he was telling that to me, obviously, because I told him I was vegan, they tend to not be grounded as much, and that explains why they're going to be traveling a lot. Because when you eat meat, it grounds you in the
He said that?
Yeah. Not sure I understood it.
If you're listening to this episode and you know who you are, I love it. That is so funny. That is a way to turn a vegan.
Into a
Bravo to
meeting.
you.
Well,
Amazing.
that didn't change anything for
No,
me.
I'm
But
sure it would
I
take
like this
more.
perspective. But I mean, I would explain that more to like someone who hasn't found their home.
Mm,
So I don't
yeah.
link that to the diet, but more
Yeah.
like, someone who hasn't reached this piece
Yeah.
of, I have a home that I can call my favorite place. They're gonna be looking for that place everywhere.
And with that, I definitely also believe that a favorite place doesn't need to be a physical place.
True.
I have two places that are not physical place, but they are my favorite place to be mentally.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, I am a mom, but I swear, when I come home and or at night when the kids comes to cuddle and I'm just holding them,
That's your favorite place?
it is
Oh,
there is nothing in
cute.
this world that can compare to that safe place and that joy that I feel and that feeling of being complete and being whole and okay. So that's definitely one of my favorite places that is not a physical place,
Yeah, I
so to
see what
say.
you mean.
And the second one is me, is in my head.
Wow. Again, not something everyone can say. Like
It's
I'm so happy for you
I'm
to
happy
be able
for
to
you.
know, seriously.
It's definitely, and this is a work in progress
Yeah.
though. I think this has been the past year, and I know I've been kind of that we will talk about this, like things that last year was a very challenging year, but it was a year that forced me to face me and talk to me and try to understand me. And this is where that play a role, where I am able to just sit down with Djamila and just understand what's going on. Sometimes it sounds creepy. I know when I say it now, it's like, oh, you sit down and talk to yourself? Girl, what's wrong?
No, I actually really understand. I think when it's only me and my thoughts, I'm not really judging myself.
Yeah.
I think it's more because of external things. So like just me being alone, I usually like I'm chill. I don't really question like things,
Yeah.
the things I think or the things I do, because it's just who I am. I've always been in that
Yeah.
head. It's literally where you're living your whole life in your head. So yeah, I think it's important to feel at home in your head, and it's not easy for everyone, but I think it's such a gift because
It's true.
Yeah,
I know it's like for me it took time. Also sometimes it can be scary in there in your own head because you
Tell me
can be
about
your
it.
worst enemy. I think sometimes I am. Actually I've been told quite a lot that I am, but I am really it is important for me to kind of understand my feelings because that's also my new thing before saying something to kind of process it in my head to really try to understand why am I feeling this way and what is it that is triggering these feelings, right? So yeah, I can stay in my so-called favorite place. Is it my favorite place or is it because it's the place that gives me the right answers?
Yeah. It's also like where inspiration comes, all the ideas, the creativity, the
Yeah.
imagination, all of
Yeah.
that is
But that part
literally
is
only from
fun.
your head.
But then when you have to process certain things, you can stay there. Like it happens to me to just sit and like process and stay quiet for so long because you really need to understand that like I'm like kind of like you're battling with your own self because you just like why am I feeling this way and like the reason side of your brain is literally trying to explain it, but emotional side is like not really cooperating. And yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I think I am learning to let reason talk more than emotion. I feel like for a long time the emotional Djamila had the control.
But it's not always a bad thing.
Yes, but I just feel like now it's maybe time for not to take over, but reason to have more voice than the emotional Djamila. I just maybe at some point it will balance.
So we're talking right now about your favorite place, like personally. But I think a favorite place is also where other people are.
Mm.
It's linked to the people, not only to your own experience. For example, where my parents live, objectively, is not my favorite place.
Okay.
But because my parents are there,
Yeah.
when I go there, I feel home. It's a familiar place.
Yeah.
It's a place where I feel good most of the time. So I would say on the map, if I had to pinpoint my favorite places or like the most important places in my life, then that would be one because of the people that are there. So again, I said like you can adapt to almost anywhere. It's the same thing. If you go to a new city, for example, maybe the city you won't like, but the people are gonna make it your favorite. Or like, actually that can work for anything. For career people, I'm not really a career person, but for people that are career oriented, maybe their job is gonna be the most important thing. So wherever their job is gonna become their favorite place. I don't know.
I mean, you just triggered something, a memory of someone that someone told me that when it comes to workplace, when it comes to jobs, that it's the people that makes it
True.
worth it, not the company or anything like that.
Can
That
you
is interesting.
imagine? There's some people that actually think their job is their favorite place.
I mean, I can imagine. Like, I like to say, like, a workplace needs to be my second home because you spend so much time there.
Yeah, but you have less control over
Yes,
how to make it.
but it's so interesting what you said about the people making it worth it.
Yeah, people and memories. I think whatever is your favorite thing is going to be connected to your emotions, your feelings, your experience. So
one of our teachers used to say this. It was a philosophy teacher, and he was like, as human being, we never realize that we are living happiness until it has passed.
We've studied that as well, and it made my brain go.
I was like, what? And I started like really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And this is where this plays a role, because I never knew at that moment that it would impact my life so much and it would always come back. That when I was in Senegal and I would just sleep between my grandparents when they were watching movies, and it was always around the same time. They would watch the news, the 8 p.m. news. After the news, there would be a movie, and I would just be next to them. And I never realized how much that was my safe place, and that was such a that's a moment that is still here. I still think about it.
So it was your favorite place.
It
but you
was.
Didn't really
It was
realize.
the favorite place of young Djamila. And it would always be. It was safety. It was like I knew nothing would go wrong with me. I knew I was totally safe.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
And every day
It's
I would just
crying
crave it, you know? Yeah, that's definitely ultimate. And I will not get it again though. So he was right, the teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, when
Good
you think
moral.
about it,
It's true. It's true, and that's why I've been these past years, I think, I've been trying to really enjoy. It's gonna sound so cliche, carpe diem, all that thing, but to really enjoy where I am in the moment.
being mindful, being really in the moment. Yeah.
Because, like I said, because you adapt to anything, you can find positive into anything. You need to just look for it and really give it value. So, for example, I know that now I've been in Scandinavia for about 3 years. The first year in Copenhagen was really hard, like I said. But then now, when I come here to work or just on a walk or something, I walk and I really tell myself, I'm so lucky to be in Copenhagen because I really love this and this and this and this and this. I really see the positive. Same with Malmö. I love Malmö. I walk around and I think, wow, I love the architecture. Wow, it's so amazing to have the sea there. Wow, so many things. I'm really trying to be like, remember that in a few years or whenever, like,
you may not have this. You
exactly.
may not do the same.
Or like, remember that when that place or that place belongs to the past, then you're going to realize it was my favorite place. It used to be. So just try to foresee that and see it now.
No, but I totally agree with you. It's something I'm trying to do, but I definitely do when it comes to, again, my kids. I try to enjoy every single moment. It is one thing, like, I mean, you know this, that I do this, telling them I love them all the time.
You do, and I think it's so amazing.
It is something is so important. Like, even if they come and say, oh, I want water, and or even if I like reprimand them, and I tell them like this is wrong, and I always have to let them know I love them.
I think it's so beautiful. I can already see some people being like, oh no, but then it loses its value if you say it too often.
No, but I mean it.
No, you need to say it.
Because
it's
even
so
if I...
That's good parenting here, guys.
No, but even if I correct them, and if I'm mad at them, I want them to know that I'm doing my job as a mom, but also my job as a mom is loving them.
You know what you're doing? You're making your home and your family your kid's favorite place.
Girl, stop it. Are we gonna be emotional now?
Yes, it's crying time.
We are taking a break to take a cry. So yeah, I remember when my daughter said it for the first time, said it back, and the joy.
Oh.
Now she says it a lot. Even yesterday night, when she woke up and I said she wanted water and complained, of course, that she's having a hard time sleeping. And I say, I love you. And then she's like, I love you too. It makes me happy every single time. And when my son says it, he's still a baby. I know he's 6. He's still my baby. And when he says it, I melt. I'm just like, oh my God. So it is definitely what brings me joy. And this is why my home is my favorite place. I think a favorite place is full of love and joy.
And that can transcend any practical thing.
Yeah.
So like, I'm thinking maybe if there are details of stuff that you don't really like, enjoy on the day-to-day basis.
Of course.
That doesn't matter if there's this love.
This love.
Yeah.
And the love doesn't matter where you are physically. And I'm learning that it's something you carry with you. And you need to keep, and it's your power.
That's true. I got a good transition.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking that what I used to call my favorite place, like Italy, because I traveled there a few times. It was the first country I traveled to outside of France. And the first country I traveled without school or my parents. And then the first country I traveled to completely on my own, not with friends or something. It has a lot of firsts. And I think that's also why it used to be my favorite place, or it is.
Exactly.
I can't say it's like practical things that I love. Obviously, everyone loves the food in Italy. Everyone loves the weather. The landscapes are awesome. But I think the reason why I love it so much is that relationship I have with the country, all the experiences I've had there, the friends I've made there, and also how I was feeling when I was there. And I think that's why it's a transition, because you're saying your home is because of how you feel when you're there. Or, between your grandparents is how you were feeling, not the place itself. It was not the couch that mattered, it was how you were feeling there.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing for travels.
Yeah. Let us know, guys, if you agree with us. And let us know what are your favorite places.
Yeah.
This has been a very interesting topic. I thought it would be calm, but
we managed to make everything into serious
deep talk. This is why we have this podcast, because we always end up having these deep talk. But we thought it would be such a light episode but it has definitely triggered a lot of emotions. I want to give myself a hug right now.
I can give you one
hug while we're recording. I hope if anyone is taking anything out of this episode is that enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Make anything or any place that brings you joy your favorite place. And
find the place where you feel good. That's going to be your favorite place.
Exactly.
Or the people you want to be around.
Croquer le moment. I don't know how you say that in English.
Seize the day. I told you we were going to be cliche.
Yeah. This has been very, very deep.
Thank you for listening until this point, and we hope we made you think a little.
Yeah, thank you for joining us for today's episode.
And we hope you're ready now for the next episode,
because it's gonna be fun. And let us know, of course, in the comments what you thought about this episode, your favorite places. And once again, I am Djamila.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is the Ikea episode. And we will see you on the the next episode.
See you next one.
Merci pour aujourd'hui.
À bientôt.
Au revoir.